Hey, my beautiful followers. How is everybody doing today? I got home from yoga with the beautiful Kendall Williams a little while ago. Had some smoothies. We were in Austin Friday and Saturday during the day, and came back last night from the Austin Tantra Festival. It is still going on. She had to get back for kiddos, and I have a prior engagement today that I'm probably going to be late for. But that's okay. Sun time is important time. So I was sitting here and I was just really soaking in the sun before I have to jump in and get going and get to what I need to get done today. Go to that personal event. And I was sitting here just getting a little bit of grounding, getting some sun, really just taking a few moments. And I was processing through kind of the weekend and thinking about this viewpoint on Tantra and spirituality in general, even if you don't want to call it Tantra, but this view of spirituality in general where we have to be all love, light, rainbows, and that anything that is negative that comes up is disconnected. That is not spirituality. That is not love. That is the opposite of what we should be going for in our life. I'm going to sit up a little bit because I'm like doing this lean back thing. Let me rearrange. Sorry. That's what you get when you pop on my lives. But that our pain, our suffering, our negative emotions, all of that is separate from our love, our light, our spirituality. And it's always interesting when I go to larger events where there are a lot of spiritual people around, this feeling of like we should all just be loving each other and happy and joyful and blissful, and that is Tantra and that is spirituality, and isn't it amazing, that feeling. And it's always interesting to kind of feel this vibe that you get from some people, not everybody. There were some beautiful teachers fellow teachers at the Austin Tantra Festival that were really talking about how our entire being is needed for Tantra. But you always run into people who are newer in their spirituality, newer in their journeys, and they're like, no, but I'm supposed to be love, I'm supposed to be light, all this negativity, I'm supposed to be letting that go. And there's a difference between negativity and just owning where you're at, owning your emotions, owning your shadow, owning those pieces of self that we tend to disconnect from. So yesterday I had the privilege to do a shadow work workshop at the festival, and I used some techniques that are actually, I've spent years and years learning them. I think it took me 8 years to kind of do everything I've done as far as learning this particular modality, and I showed maybe 5% of the modality. I didn't really jump deeply into it, but it was on shadow work. The entire workshop is on shadow work, and so I had people yelling, I had people screaming, I had people in not human cages, but like creating like cages and really working through their shadow, their anger. And somebody looked at me and I said, I want you to become jealousy. I want you to become jealousy. And they go, I can't do that. I'm not jealous. And I said, first of all, it's not you being jealous. It's you becoming jealousy, embodying that emotion. And I still got a lot of people going, but no, like I don't experience that. And I actually called bullshit. Because we all experience jealousy. We all have that feeling within us, that emotion. Now, whether we have gotten good with it, whether we have made friends with it, that is a different story. When we make friends with your perceived, and we're going to say them perceived negatives because it's how we're labeling them. They're not negative. But when we pick on our perceived negative emotions and we make friends with them and we go, I see you, I feel you, emotion. I feel you, jealousy. I got you. I heard that. I heard that comment that I just had in my head about why does she get that and I don't, or why is my lover going out with this person? Does he think that she's prettier than me, or whatever jealous emotion comes up, or why does that person always get the money, the girl, the job, the whatever. We all have our stuff. There's a difference between making friends with it and going, yeah, that's crazy, like, and like letting it go and seeing it, just like in meditation, like seeing the thought and going, hey, bye, and not grabbing onto it, like just allowing it to flow through and not having it at all. The fact is, you're human, you have emotion. That is an emotion. And if we close that down, what ends up happening is it gets stored in our bodies. It gets stored in our muscle tissue. I can promise you still have things, if you're watching this, you still have things stored in your body, your muscle tissue, from when you were yay high. Because that is how we work as humans. We store and we hold and we have these emotions. And until they're ready to be present to us, we can't truly process through them. Our bodies, our minds, our spirits, they truly work together to know when it is time to process something through. However, when we are newer on our spiritual journey, or even further in, sometimes we get this idea that things have to be love, light, and rainbows, or that we have to go, oh, that's a negative emotion. Oh, I'm just going to love myself through it. And we flip. Oh, I'm going to love myself through it. And what ends up happening is, instead of truly going, wow, I'm rageful right now. Wow, like I feel that. And I'm going to go journal that out. I'm going to let myself like have my moment of like processing through that and like feeling that rage, like really getting into it, maybe like hitting on a pillow. I had some people banging on mattresses yesterday and it was fucking beautiful. Like I loved it. It was so fun to really watch people get in there and start to process some of their emotion. It was so juicy, so yummy in processing and healing. But there is the have compassion for self, love self, but first you must process through it. First you must look at it. First you must make friends with it. And then you can go, and I love myself anyway. Like I see that. I love myself anyway. I'm going to step in here. I'm going to feel it. And I'm going to feel it knowing that at the end of the day, I love myself. And I can get wild and crazy and cry and scream and have my moment. Or just feel it in my heart. I can feel that sadness, feel that anger, feel it, breathe into it, and then eventually allow my process to move me to a state of love instead of forcing it. And it was interesting because on the way down, as many of you know, I drove down with Kendall, and we actually had a conversation, and she was sharing something with me that I'm not going to go into because it was a personal conversation, but she was sharing something with me because I had expressed some okay, like I'm feeling really frustrated in this particular area over here. I'm like, what do you think? Like, do you have any suggestions, any ideas? Like, what are you seeing? Hey, Athena, my cat, decided to join the live stream. So I verbalized this stuff, and she looked at me and she said, I could be really nice here. I could tell you what you want to hear. But I love you, and therefore, I'm going to give you an honest answer. I'm going to get honest with you right now, and I'm going to share what I really see here. And she did. And I went, yeah, that was a hard one. That was a hard one to hear. And I think in spirituality, a lot of times, if we have to say something difficult or hard, we're like, that's not loving. That's not like, oh, I love you. Sometimes being hard on somebody, and I'm going to say hard, and I'm trying to really process my words here to make sure nobody gets to make sure that everyone's getting my point. But sometimes we have to be not cruel, hard on somebody. There is something called tough love. There is something with saying, no, I'm going to give you the truth here, and I know it's going to hurt you. I know that this is going to hurt you. I know this is not going to be easy. And I see this in my clients and their relationships all the time. I'm like, no, the most loving thing you can do is to be honest and be truthful and to still come at it from a place of love. But love doesn't mean, dog piles of hugs and rainbows and butterflies and it being beautiful and blissful all the time. Sometimes the most loving thing we can do is to stand in our negative emotion, or to share our negative emotion, or to witness somebody else's negative emotion. That is the most loving thing. Not fix it, not to try to control it, not try to move somebody or ourselves from a place we are before we're ready. Because in truth, what ends up happening is we just get really unauthentic. And as this weekend I saw so many beautifully authentic, real, rooted, grounded people that I was like, yes, you are so embodied. You feel yourself and thus you can feel others. I also saw some people that were very much, no, it's all about the free love and connection and love, and we need to love each other. And while I am an advocate for loving each other, I have love for all my fellow humans, there is something to be said for being authentic, being real, noting your boundaries, noting that transformation is fucking hard. And it's not going to look like rainbows and butterflies all the time. Sometimes it can. I think I saw a meme a couple days ago. I think I talked about it on Free Spirit Talks about how like our growth never happens in this blissful, joyful state. And I disagree with that, because actually I can think of some beautiful moments in my life where I felt a different level of bliss, and thus far I changed my life because I was like, this is what I need, this is what I desire. And I've seen lots of clients do the same thing, find this new level of bliss and love and openness, and that is actually why they changed. However, unfortunately, as humans are not really programmed that way for the most part. We are programmed to transform through pain. We feel pain, we feel uncomfortable, and thus we move to find ourselves less pain, in less comfort. Sometimes we sit in the pain and the comfort and we don't want to move forward, but most of our transformation happens in the pain, though it can happen from a state of bliss as well, but it is mainly from this painful space where we want to move out of it. And so if you're wanting to transform your life, if you're wanting to create change in the world, if you're wanting to create change within yourself, which should come first and foremost, because if we don't change self, we're not going to be able to change the world. Get authentic. And authentic means tap into those negative emotions. Tap into your positive emotions. Allow yourself to have gratitude. Look at where you're constricting yourself, because we tend to fall into one of two categories. We're the person who is always like the Debbie Downer. I'm going to sit in my negative emotions, never going to have joy, never going to have anything good. This is a constriction. Or we're in the, let's just have gratitude for everything. Let's be blissful. Let's be loving. Let's be this like rainbows and butterflies and the world is amazing and beautiful. And guess what? That's a constriction too. There is a balancing energy. There is a harmonizing energy between both of these. And if we expand this, we expand this. And if we expand this, we must expand this as well. So our transformation can be love and beauty and bliss and butterflies and rainbows, but it also must be difficult moments, tears, anger, fear, scared, really stepping out, really having that like shaky edge. That is required for our growth. And that is actually where we get to a tantric place. That is where we really connect with self. That is when we really are at a place of authenticity. Outside of that, you're living inauthentically. If you are only focused on joy, love, light, and you are not connecting to those other pieces of self, you are inauthentic. You can't be authentic. You cannot be a whole human without feeling and seeing and experiencing those other pieces of self. I'm not saying jumping in the hole with them, but just making friends with them, just going, I see you. I forget who it is, and I'll post it under this video, but it's a poem called The Guest House, and it's all about our emotions coming in and out, and the flow. They enter like guests. Some create a mess, some create joy and laughter, some create all of this beauty, some stay for a moment and are gone, some you have to kick out and you really have to push out. So I'll put the poem underneath, but it is a beautiful representation of how we must allow the flow, the full flow, the tears. There was one moment in a workshop, it wasn't my workshop, that I participated in, where I just felt tears coming up. I just allowed those tears to come up, because it was from a place of like, it was just some emotion. I'm not sure if it was sadness or what it was attached to, and I didn't need to attach it to anything, but just feeling that emotion come up and out. And that is a beautiful tantric moment just as much. It's a moment where I was in a really good embrace with somebody and just felt their heart and felt their love and felt their energy. Both are equally as spiritual. Beating on a mattress, feeling your anger is just as spiritual, just as healing, just as awakening, just as tantric and integrated as sitting there and giving affirmations of love and light to self or other. They're equally as powerful. They're equally as transformative. The level of transformation is going to depend a little bit on the person, but oftentimes we don't want to look at the negative stuff. That is the piece we hold off and go, that's not transformation, that's not spiritual, that's not tantric, when it is the most tantric thing we can do. It is truly us embodying our full selves. I did a video called Toddlers Are article Toddlers Are Tantric a couple years back, and I'll post that as well, because it really was a beautiful article on watching some fun little toddlers and seeing how truly tantric they are, and how they are our teachers in being a full embodied human being in our emotions, our bodies, our spirits. So alright guys, like I said, I am running late for the event I have to go to, but other than that, I will see you guys tomorrow for another Addison Unleashed. I have my special, my Elves Made Me Do It special, so please check out that at addisonbell.net. I have no other events for the rest of the year, but I am going to be jam-packed in January, February, and March. Nothing is set on my schedule quite yet, so I will be getting that all out to you in the next week. But go check out my special, because I have all my programs are discounted right now. My consults are discounted. If you ever wanted to work with me, if you ever wanted to really step into your power, really step into your sex, really step into your relationship, really connect with self, come see the Single Sex Queen. And we can get you started. So, alright guys, I love you, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Blessings.